Hello there. Today, I'd like to talk about a particular event that occurs a lot in our society and in people's life, yet we talk about it so little, particularly because we don't understand its consequences. Now, let's say there is this person who is number 2 in a company, and so he has got a director above him, or she has got a director above him. And this person is very unpleasant with his subordinates. You know, shouting, threatening, humiliating, things that in a workplace are very common. But of course they happen in all other spheres of life, family, friendships, and so forth. Now, this person is totally unaware of how he's making other people feel. He just feels good that he can exert his authority, his power, and people are submissive to him. So, one day, his director, the one above him, says something to him in a rather harsh way. Oh, you really don't know what you're doing, you're a mess, look what you've done, blah, 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 and upsets him. Now, what I have found on occasions, this rather abusive person, abusive to his subordinates, becomes incredibly upset. Incredibly upset. Look what my boss has done. Look how he has spoken to me. Look how he is treating me after all that I've done. But, and the finger goes up, yeah? Remember this finger? But look, I'm sure that something is now going to happen to him because God will punish him because of the way in which he spoke to me, the way he hurt me, the way he humiliated me. And he said with such a conviction. So let's say that a couple of days later, the boss goes to a restaurant and he gets food poisoning. So he's laid out for 2 days in a lot of pain. So this offended person says, see, whosoever upsets me or hurts me will be punished. Come on, how many times haven't you heard people say something like this? You know, see what has happened to him, you know, or to her. It's because of what they did to me. And very often, they are not aware, or shall I put myself in that category, we are not aware of the harm that we are doing to others, which in a way is even worse than what that person we accuse has done to us. Now, when we say God will punish people who hurt me, we are believing that there is some kind of karma, law of cause and effect, and retribution. So, what we are not aware when we do this is that what we are saying to the universe is punish me. Whenever I do anything like this person had done, being insensitive, being a bit hurtful, hurt me in the same way. That's what we are saying to the universe. That's why the wisdom, forgive if you want to be forgiven. Because as we judge, we will be judged. And we miss that. We cannot see it. And I've seen it often in my life, and I've seen it so often in the life of others. You know, so what happens, they start cursing people, they keep cursing people, and then one day that very curse comes back on them. Now, it's not that, I don't want you to misunderstand me, that I'm saying that, well, somehow if anything happens to you is a curse that is coming back. That is not always the case. We'll talk some other time about karma events and things like that. but it's not that anything that happens to us is because we curse someone. Of course not. But I'm just saying that there could be situation where that, if you believe that there is retribution or cause and effect, that is what is happening. Also, there is another more subtle way in which we want to hurt others, and we end up being hurt ourselves. And that is when we hold hatred, resentment within us, and in our mind we keep going on and on and on, really sending horrible thoughts and vibration to that person. And sometimes really uncalled for. It's just that we are quite resentful people. So this constant creation of really negative energy. Now let's say maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But maybe there is some electromagnetic force in our thoughts, and our brain is quite an electric central, and then maybe something travels to that person. Whether it does or it doesn't, one thing is for sure, that constant cursing the other person is going to affect us, and is not going to be a good magnet, for events in our life. So we might end up attracting that hatred into us, which could just simply be more fights, more people turning their back on us, if we are resented and hateful all the time, life will reflect that on us. Again, bad events does not mean because we were bad and so forth that they have come to us, but there could be some of them that are due to this cause. So I understand that life can be difficult and confrontational. Some people can be very unfair to us, and it hurts us. So along with the path of mindfulness that I've spoken about in other videos, I admit that sometimes we get hurt. Sometimes people have done something which is really hurtful, insensitive, and it looks really unfair. So I'm not one of those people that say, no, don't feel anything. It's not skillful to feel something. I prefer much more a path of mindful honesty. So what means that in there is honesty in the sense, this hurts. This is making me angry. This is not fair. So I allow that anger to be. But the main thing of being mindful in this honesty is that you don't clasp it, you don't hold on to it, and you don't keep it burning all the time. Now, if there is something that you can do about it, like having a talk to the other person or sorting things out in one way or another, of course, do it in the least destructive possible way. But otherwise, don't bring it with you. Don't make it. Don't allow it to make its home in there. To build a room and to furnish a room in your mind, in your soul, and color so much of your life. So breathe in, breathe out, and let it go. But simply let it go, realizing that it's not good for you. It's not conducive to a joyful life. So try to be a bit watchful, try to be aware of what it is you're putting out, because it could have consequences. I'd like to share with you that normally, when unpleasant events with people happen, that sometimes I feel that I'm being targeted in an unfair manner, I do give it some thought, I do give it some mindfulness, and try to be as no self, no ego, judging it, just looking at it objectively. And what I look at is, have I in any way created it? Because maybe someone suddenly reacts in an angry way towards me, and later on I see that maybe I was being insensitive. I used certain words and I spoke in a certain manner which I was not aware about it, but were hurtful. So the important thing before I turn on the other person inwardly, and I think, oh, look what they've done, look what they've done, look what they've done, is I always try to look, was I in any way partly or fully responsible for that event? And become aware of it, become mindful of it, so that there is no need to really repeat it and again repeat a similar situation. I think that that's quite a creative way to go about it. And as I'm moving in life, the more and more I'm realizing that that repetitive memory of that event and sending hatred, anger, I let it go. But not so much because also I want to be goody-goody, and because I want to go to heaven, but more because I realize it's destructive towards me, and it's pointless carrying it. So, to conclude this short talk, I would strongly recommend to you, do not curse people. If you feel that people have been unfair to you, or they've spoken in a bad way, ask yourself, do I speak in a bad way like this sometime to other people? Because this event might help me to know myself better. So ask yourself that question. Then if you feel that there is the need to be clear, to change course of action, to talk to the other person, do so. And then let life take its course. Maybe karma take its course, okay? But don't try to pray to destroy that person. Because very often they go, after they've had a quarrel with you, they go to have a restaurant and they get food poisoning, not because of you. Don't be so stupid and arrogant. Oh, it's because of me. Look how powerful I am. It just happened. Things happened. So just let it go. And remember, you will be judged in the way in which you judge. You will be forgiven in the way that you forgive. Thanks for listening to me.